Ladies, let me tell you something that might shake your soul. Something that will change the way you look at yourself forever. The true beauty of a woman is not in the clothes she wears. You've been told, conditioned, and made to believe that your worth is tied to what you wear, how your body looks, and whether you meet society's ever-changing standards. But guess what? True beauty comes from within. From the way you walk through the world, the way you empower yourself, and the strength you carry with every step. Today I'm going to break down everything you need to hear about beauty, strength, and what it means to be a truly magnificent woman. So get ready, because this is about to get real. You know, we live in a world that constantly tries to tell us that our beauty is tied to what we wear. It's almost like there's this unspoken rule that the more expensive the clothes, the more beautiful you become. But let me tell you something. Beauty is in your confidence, not your clothes. Clothes are nothing but fabric. The true power of beauty is in the energy you exude, the aura you carry, and the way you make others feel when they are around you. Let's think about this for a moment. When you see someone walk into a room and their presence fills the space, you know there's something magnetic about them. It's not the designer clothes they're wearing or the perfect makeup they've applied. It's their confidence. That is what you notice first. Think about the most influential, most inspiring people you know. Did they change the world because of their clothes or because of the energy they brought with them? The power of beauty lies in how you own who you are and how unapologetically you wear your confidence. Let me share a simple example from real life. Have you ever met someone who wasn't particularly conventionally attractive by society's standards, but still had this magnetic aura? You couldn't help but be drawn to them, right? They could be wearing something casual, something simple, and yet they stand out. It's their confidence that commands the room. I'll tell you about my friend Zara. She's not the one people would notice in a crowd, but what makes her truly remarkable is the way she owns every room she walks into. She wears her confidence like a crown. She doesn't need flashy clothes or heavy makeup to turn heads. It's the way she speaks, the way she looks at people, the way she stands tall even in challenging situations. Zara's beauty doesn't come from her clothes. It comes from her belief in herself. When you're confident, you don't need approval from anyone. You're not worried about fitting in. You're too busy standing out in your own unique way. Confidence is magnetic. It's contagious. Imagine this. You're in a job interview. You've got the best suit on, the best makeup, and everything is perfect. But when you sit down, you're nervous, your voice shakes, and you can feel your palms sweating. Does that confidence scream, "I'm the one for this role"? No. It doesn't matter how perfect your attire is, the lack of self-assurance shows. But now, picture this. You're in the same interview, but this time you walk in with your head held high. You know you're worthy of the job, you believe in your skills, and you carry yourself like you already belong. Your outfit may not be the most expensive, but your confidence shines through. Your posture, your voice, and the way you own your story make a greater impact than any tailored suit ever could. That's the magic of confidence. There's a reason why the most successful people in the world have a certain air about them. They're not concerned with being perfect. They don't need the latest trends to feel validated. Instead, they've learned to own their imperfections and turn them into their power. Confidence is a mindset. It's knowing that your worth is not determined by anyone's opinion of you. It's the belief that you have something valuable to offer the world, no matter how you look or what you wear. Think about Oprah Winfrey. She built an empire not because of the brands she wore or the dresses she chose, but because of the belief in herself that radiated through every interview, every speech, and every action. Oprah's confidence wasn't about her clothes. It was about the way she carried her own story with power. And let's talk about the everyday person for a second. There's this woman I know named Priya. She doesn't have a closet full of designer clothes, and she doesn't spend hours on her appearance. But what she does have is an inner confidence that's undeniable. She walks into a room with a grace that makes people notice her. Not because of how she looks, but because of the way she holds herself. She's someone who doesn't apologize for who she is. Her confidence radiates not just in her posture, but in the way she speaks, the way she listens, and the way she makes people feel like they matter. Priya has learned that beauty is not about perfection, it's about authenticity. And her confidence is a testament to the fact that when you believe in yourself, everything else falls into place. Now, think about your own life. How many times have you felt insecure thinking your clothes weren't enough? Or have you ever avoided situations because you felt you weren't dressed right? I know I have. But what if you stopped thinking that way? What if instead you told yourself that your worth wasn't dependent on the clothes you wear, but on the power you hold within yourself? The confidence you wear is far more valuable than any outfit could ever be. Confidence makes you powerful because it comes from within. It's something no one can take from you. The moment you decide to stop chasing approval and start owning your individuality, you feel unstoppable. When you believe in yourself, your confidence speaks louder than any fashion statement ever could. And trust me, people notice it. They feel it. The way you carry yourself will define your beauty in ways no material possession ever could. Next time you step out the door, remember this. Your beauty doesn't reside in the brand of clothes you wear or the number of compliments you get. It resides in the belief you have in yourself, the way you hold your head high, and the way you show up in the world. That's what makes you unforgettable. Cyanide towards hospitality, woe with a man's confidence. When women speak to me, I know what they want. I know what they need. I know what they are looking for. Have you ever looked at the mirror and felt like you didn't measure up? Like you ever looked at the mirror and felt like you didn't measure up? Like you ever looked at the mirror and felt like you didn't measure up? Like, where traditional beauty is. I am skinny, flawless skin, perfect hair, big eyes, high cheekbones. It's like we've been handed a blueprint of perfection and we're told we should follow it to be considered beautiful. But here's the truth that everyone needs to hear. You define beauty, not society. You see, the world will try to tell you that beauty is a one-size-fits-all concept. It will push you to look like everyone else, to conform to trends, and to measure your worth based on how well you match a standard that has nothing to do with who you are. But beauty is not about fitting into some fabricated mold. It's about embracing who you are, flaws, quirks, and all, and knowing that your individuality is your beauty. Think about the countless women who have been told they're too much or too little of something. Too dark, too pale, too tall, too short, too loud, too quiet, too curvy, too thin. Society loves to label, judge, and box you in. But real beauty is found in breaking out of those boxes. Take the example of someone like Maya Angelou. She wasn't conventionally beautiful by society's standards. She didn't fit into the narrow mold that Hollywood and magazines told us to strive for. Yet, there was something incredibly magnetic about her. It wasn't her appearance that made her beautiful. It was her words, her soul, her conviction in herself, and the power she carried with her every day. Her beauty came from within, from owning who she was and defining her own worth. We've all seen it happen in our lives. You walk into a room full of people and some have impeccable clothing, makeup and hairstyles. But who stands out? It's the person who is comfortable in their own skin. The one who owns who they are without apology. That's because beauty is not about conformity. It's about confidence and authenticity. When you stop worrying about being accepted by others, when you stop measuring your worth against other people's standards, that's when your true beauty starts to shine. I'll tell you about a friend of mine, Anika. She's someone who has always defied conventional beauty standards. Growing up, she was made fun of for being too tall, too thin, and having features that didn't match the typical pretty girl in movies and magazines. But Anika never let that define her. Instead, she used those experiences to build her own sense of beauty. She didn't let society dictate her worth. She was the girl who didn't conform. She celebrated her tall frame, her unique smile, and the way she made people feel when they were around her. She's a living example that beauty is not about looking like the latest model or following a set of rules. It's about embracing yourself as you are. Here's what's mind-blowing. What makes you different is what makes you beautiful. The world has spent so much time teaching you to fit in, to look like everyone else. But beauty is in your uniqueness. It's in the things that set you apart, the features and quirks that no one else can replicate. Take a moment to think about someone you admire. Whether it's a friend, a family member, or even someone you've only seen in the media. What makes them stand out? It's not their perfect symmetry or flawless appearance. It's the way they carry themselves. It's the fire in their eyes, the confidence in their step, the way they speak their truth and aren't afraid to show up as their real selves. That is beauty. Here's another example. Have you ever watched someone perform on stage, whether it's acting, singing, or even public speaking? You can almost feel the room's energy shift when someone who is confident in their own skin takes the stage. Take Adele, for example. She's not the typical airbrushed model-type singer we often see. Yet she commands the stage with her voice, her passion, and her unapologetic authenticity. Adele's beauty comes from her refusal to be anything other than herself. She's someone who defined her beauty on her own terms. And that's why people are drawn to her. It's not just the way she looks, it's how she carries her soul. Now think about you. Yes, you. How many times have you found yourself trying to change for someone else? Maybe you've tried to fit into a certain type of beauty because society told you that's what's right. Maybe you've looked in the mirror and wished you could change something about yourself because you didn't feel like you measured up to the photos you see in magazines or social media. But here's the thing. You don't have to be anyone but yourself. Your beauty is defined by the way you hold yourself, the way you approach life, the way you treat others, and the way you love yourself. It's time to take back the power that society has tried to take from you. You get to decide what makes you beautiful. You are the artist and your life is the canvas. Don't let anyone tell you that you need to change, conform, or fit into some narrow box to be worthy of admiration. You are worthy simply because you exist. You are worthy because you have the power to define your own beauty. And once you realize that, nothing can ever make you feel less than spectacular. In the end, the real measure of beauty is not how closely you fit society's expectations. It's how freely you express yourself without apology. It's how fully you embrace your quirks, your uniqueness, and your story. That's the kind of beauty that leaves an impression. That's the kind of beauty that's lasting. And that's the beauty that comes from you and no one else. You know, there's this misconception that beauty is only about what we see on the outside. We're constantly bombarded with images of perfect skin, flawless hair, and perfectly curated looks. But I want to tell you something that will completely shift your perspective. Beauty starts from within. It's your heart and mind that truly shape who you are, and in turn, shape how you are perceived by the world. Let's take a moment to really think about this. Have you ever met someone who wasn't considered beautiful by society's standards but still had this magnetic presence? You couldn't quite put your finger on it, but there was something undeniable about them. It wasn't their appearance, it was their energy. It was the way they made you feel when they spoke to you, the kindness in their eyes, the warmth in their smile. It was their soul, their heart, and their positivity that radiated from within. That's the true essence of beauty. It's not in how you look, but in how you make people feel. Think about this. When you're around someone with a beautiful heart, you feel better. They lift your spirit, make you believe in the good in the world, and remind you that beauty is not something that can be captured by a camera lens. True beauty is felt. It's in the kindness that flows from your actions, the warmth that radiates from your smile, and the genuine love and care that you show others. The mind also plays a huge part in this. It's about how you see the world, how you perceive yourself, and how you treat others. If you have a positive, open, and loving mind, that energy radiates outward and affects everyone around you. I'll give you an example from my own life. There's a woman I know named Priya. She is someone who might not fit the traditional image of beauty. She doesn't have the long flowing hair or the perfectly symmetrical features. But when Priya walks into a room, it's like the air shifts. She is not just physically present, she's emotionally and mentally present. Priya has the kind of heart that makes you feel like you matter. When she listens to you, it's like she's absorbing every word, every feeling. Her heart is open, and that makes her incredibly beautiful. You see, Priya's beauty comes from the love she gives, the care she extends, and the way she chooses to see the good in people. Have you ever noticed that the most attractive people are often the ones who are genuinely happy, confident, and at peace with themselves? They might not be perfect, but their peace, confidence, and kindness create this aura of beauty that draws people in. Let me take you to another example. Think about someone like Mother Teresa. She wasn't known for her appearance. In fact, she was often seen in a simple white sari. But she was one of the most beautiful women the world has ever known because of her heart. Her life's work, her selfless devotion to the poor and the sick, her unwavering compassion for humanity. These are the things that defined her beauty. Her beauty wasn't in her looks, but in her heart and the love she spread wherever she went. Now, let's talk about you. How often do you look in the mirror and judge yourself for not meeting certain beauty standards? How often do you feel less than enough because of what society tells you is beautiful? We live in a world that's obsessed with the external. How we look, what we wear, how our skin looks under the right lighting. But the truth is, true beauty isn't something that can be captured in a selfie or measured by the number of likes you get. It's the way you treat people when no one is watching. The way you show up in the world with kindness. The way you think about yourself and others. Take a moment and think about this. When was the last time you complimented someone on their kindness instead of their looks? Or when did you last admire someone for their intelligence or their strength of character rather than just their appearance? This is the type of beauty that leaves a lasting impression. When people remember you, it's not the clothes you wore or how well your makeup was applied. What they remember is how you made them feel. That's because beauty starts from the inside. It's about cultivating a beautiful heart and a beautiful mind, and then letting that energy flow out into the world. And it's not just about how you treat others, it's about how you treat yourself. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you don't measure up, that you need to change to be loved or accepted, you're feeding negativity into your own heart and mind. This will reflect on how others see you too. But when you love yourself, when you accept yourself for all that you are, flaws and all, that energy becomes undeniable. You stop seeking validation from the outside, and instead you become the source of your own beauty. Let me tell you a story that perfectly captures this idea. There's a woman I know, Arya, who once felt completely invisible. She wasn't the prettiest girl in the room, and she often compared herself to others, wondering why she didn't look like the models or actresses she saw in magazines. But one day she decided to stop measuring herself against these unrealistic standards. She began to nurture her mind, her spirit, and her heart. She started focusing on things that truly mattered to her passions, her skills, her ability to connect with others. Slowly she began to change, not on the outside, but on the inside. Arya became a woman who radiated confidence and kindness. She became someone who valued her worth not by how she looked, but by how she showed up in the world. And you know what happened? People started to notice her in ways they never had before. Not because of her external appearance, but because of her inner glow. Her beauty came from within, and that made all the difference. True beauty does not in what's on the outside. It's in the love you carry within you. It's in the thoughts you think, the way you treat others, and the peace you find within yourself. The more you nurture your mind and heart, the more beautiful you become, and the more you attract people who recognize that true beauty. Do you ever find yourself scrolling through social media, looking at the picture-perfect lives of others, and feeling like you're falling short? Have you ever caught yourself comparing your accomplishments, your body, your success, or your happiness to someone else's? This toxic habit is something we all fall into at some point. But here's the hard truth. Stop comparing yourself to others. It's one of the most destructive things you can do to your mental health and your sense of self-worth. Now, let me take you back for a moment. Imagine you're sitting at home, scrolling through your feed, and you come across a picture of a friend. She's living her best life, traveling to exotic places, surrounded by friends, looking effortlessly gorgeous. You start to think, why doesn't my life look like hers? Why can't I look like that? Why don't I have the same opportunities or success she does? In that moment, you've just compared yourself to someone else, and you've set yourself up for disappointment. We've all been there, right? The comparison game is endless. We're constantly measuring ourselves against others in every way. Their achievements, their looks, their relationships, their career progress. But here's the thing. Comparison is the thief of joy. It steals your happiness, your peace, and your sense of self-worth. It makes you feel like you're not enough, and like you're always playing catch-up, and like you have to be someone else to succeed. But what if I told you that the key to true fulfillment and success lies in one simple thing? Embracing who you are and recognizing that your journey is unique. The moment you stop comparing yourself to others is the moment you free yourself to truly live your life on your own terms. I'll give you an example. Think of a person like Oprah Winfrey. She's one of the most influential women in the world, yet her path to success wasn't easy. Oprah faced countless setbacks, poverty, discrimination, and personal struggles, but she didn't compare her journey to anyone else's. She didn't look at other people's success and feel inadequate. Instead, she focused on her own growth, her own values, and her own purpose. Oprah didn't waste her time trying to be someone else. She carved out her own space in the world. She embraced who she was, flaws and all, and used her unique story to build an empire. She realized that comparison would only hold her back, so she focused on her own path, and that's why she's the icon we know today. Now let's talk about you. How many times have you compared your life to someone else's? Maybe it's your friend who seems to have it all together, or your colleague who just landed a big promotion, or that influencer who's constantly showing off her luxurious life. You look at them and think, why can't I have that? Why is my life so different? But here's the truth. Your life is your own and it's incomparable. Your journey is not the same as anyone else's. The struggles you face, the lessons you learn, and the people you meet are unique to you. No one else is walking in your shoes, facing your challenges, or experiencing your triumphs. So why would you compare your story to theirs? Comparison only leads to self-doubt, dissatisfaction, and a sense of inadequacy. It makes you lose sight of what you've already achieved and makes you focus on what you don't have. But what you don't realize is that you are already enough. Here's a mind-blowing example. Have you ever heard of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series? Before she became one of the wealthiest and most successful authors in the world, she was living on welfare, struggling to make ends meet. She had been rejected by numerous publishers and faced a mountain of personal challenges. But instead of comparing herself to other successful writers, J.K. Rowling focused on her own work. She believed in her story, in her vision, and in her ability to succeed. And the world would not have Harry Potter if she had let comparison stand in her way. She didn't look at other authors and say, I'll never be as successful as they are. Instead, she kept writing, kept believing in her unique story, and let her journey unfold in its own time. You see, when you stop comparing yourself to others, you stop competing with them. The world is not a race. And there's no finish line where someone else's success means you lose. There's room for all of us to grow, succeed, and shine in our own way. The only competition you should ever have is with yourself. You should be asking, how can I be better than I was yesterday? How can I grow and evolve into the best version of myself? Let's talk about your unique gifts for a moment. You are an individual, and that in itself is your superpower. No one else has your experiences, your perspective, your skills, your creativity, or your drive. The very things that make you different are what will ultimately lead to your success. So why waste your time comparing yourself to someone else when your own path is waiting for you to walk it? Why try to be someone else when being yourself is the key to unlocking everything you've ever dreamed of? Take a moment to reflect on where you are in your life right now. All the moments you've conquered, the challenges you've overcome, the dreams you've chased, and the people you've touched. They are all a part of your journey. Your life is already extraordinary because it's yours. It's uniquely yours. So why try to be someone else when you can be the best version of yourself? Here's a reality check for you. You don't know the full story of anyone else's life. You see their highlight reel on social media, but you don't see the behind-the-scenes struggles, the failures, the doubts, and the pain. Everyone has their own battles to fight, their own path to walk, and their own timing. Comparing yourself to others is like comparing apples to oranges. It's not fair to either one of you. Your success, your happiness, and your life are yours alone to create. And there's no one else who can do it the way you can. So stop looking to the side and start looking within. Your journey is yours to embrace. Your growth is in your hands and your destiny is in your heart. Don't let the comparison game hold you back any longer. Instead, focus on your own potential, your own vision, and your own greatness. You are worthy of success, joy, and fulfillment, just as you are. And that, my friend, is the only comparison that truly matters. There's a concept that I want you to hold close to your heart today. Your power lies in your self-worth. If you truly understand and embrace this, everything in your life will shift. I want you to think about the most powerful people you've ever known. What makes them stand out? Is it their physical appearance? Is it their success? Or is it something deeper? The truth is, their power comes from within, from an unshakable belief in their own value. That's what makes them unstoppable, and that the key to creating the life you want. Let's break this down for a moment. Your self-worth is the foundation on which everything in your life is built. It's the lens through which you view yourself, others, and the world around you. When you know your value, you stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop accepting bad treatment, toxic relationships, or environments that don't align with your highest potential. When you know your worth, you become the architect of your own life. Here's a powerful example. Think about a woman who has just started her career. She's ambitious, talented, and driven, but she's surrounded by people who don't see her value. They don't recognize her brilliance, and they try to diminish her contributions. At first, she might start doubting herself. She might think, am I good enough? Maybe I'm not as talented as they say I am. Maybe I should just keep quiet and accept their opinions of me. But then, one day, something changes. She realizes that her worth isn't defined by others. She begins to understand that her value doesn't come from their recognition or approval. It comes from within. She doesn't need anyone else to validate her worth because she's already validated herself. She starts speaking up, taking action, and owning her power. Her confidence grows and her opportunities expand. Eventually, her undeniable value is recognized by everyone around her. But it all started when she realized that her power was in her self-worth. Your self-worth is not dependent on external factors. It's not about your job title, your appearance, the approval of others, or the amount of money you make. It's about how you see yourself, how you treat yourself, and the belief you hold that you are deserving of love, respect, success, and happiness. When you understand your self-worth, you stop seeking validation from others. You stop waiting for people to recognize your value and you start recognizing it yourself. You realize that you don't need anyone's permission to be powerful, to be confident, or to be successful. Think about some of the most iconic women in history. People like Maya Angelou, Oprah Winfrey, or Malala Yousafzai. None of them became great because they were waiting for someone else to tell them that they were worthy. They became great because they knew deep down that they had inherent value. They knew that their voices mattered, that their dreams were valid, and that they had the power to change the world. They didn't let anyone diminish their worth. They didn't let society's standards define them. They defined themselves by their own terms. There's a beautiful lesson in this, and it's one that we can apply to our own lives. Self-worth is not about perfection. It's not about being flawless or having everything figured out. It's about recognizing that you are enough as you are. It's about accepting your flaws and your strengths, your mistakes and your successes, and understanding that all of it contributes to who you are. When you embrace your imperfections, when you stop trying to be someone else, you tap into an incredible source of power. Now let's take a moment to reflect on your life. Think about the times when you've felt the most powerful. Was it when you achieved something great? Maybe, but I bet it was also when you made a decision to stand up for yourself, to protect your peace, to say no when something wasn't right for you. Maybe it was when you walked away from a toxic situation, even when it was hard. Your power comes from making those choices. It's about taking control of your life and not letting others dictate your worth. I think you've probably been in situations where you felt undervalued. Maybe it was in a relationship, at work, or in a social circle where you were treated as less than you are. And you know what happens when you start to believe that narrative? You start to shrink. You start to believe that maybe you're not good enough, that you're not deserving of better. But that's a lie. You are worthy of everything you desire, whether it's success, love, respect, or happiness. When you recognize your worth, you no longer tolerate anything less than the best for yourself. And when you stop accepting less, the universe has no choice but to bring you more. Let's talk about the courage it takes to believe in your self-worth. It's not always easy, especially when the world is constantly telling you what you should be or how you should look. It takes courage to look in the mirror and say, I am enough. I am worthy of all the greatness the world has to offer. But once you start believing that, once you start embodying that truth, everything around you begins to shift. People will begin to treat you with more respect because they can sense your self-respect. Opportunities will start to flow toward you because you're no longer settling for less than you deserve. You'll start to attract the right people, the right circumstances, and the right experiences because you finally recognized that you are worthy of the best. This is the essence of self-worth. Recognizing your inherent value and refusing to let anyone or anything take that away from you. It's about knowing that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone, that your worth isn't tied to your achievements or the opinions of others. Your worth is intrinsic, it's in your soul. It's in the way you carry yourself, the love you give, and the way you show up in the world. Your power lies in your self-worth, and once you own that power, there's nothing that can stop you from achieving greatness. There's something incredibly powerful about embracing the journey you've been through. The highs, the lows, the setbacks, the wins, and the failures. Each one of those experiences shapes you into the person you are today. And yet so many people look at their struggles as something they should hide, as if they should be ashamed of the difficulties they've. The truth is, you should wear your experiences like a badge of honor, because they are the things that have made you strong, resilient, and wise. Every challenge you've overcome is a victory. Every scar a reminder of how far you've come. Let me share a story with you. There's a woman named Jessica, who once faced what seemed like an insurmountable mountain. She had spent years building a successful career, climbing the corporate ladder, making connections, and earning respect in her field. But one day, it all came crashing down. Her company went through a major restructuring and she lost her job. In the blink of an eye, the identity she had worked so hard to create for herself was gone. She felt devastated, unsure of who she was without her career. For a while, she wore that failure like a burden, hiding it from the world. She didn't want people to see her as someone who had fallen, someone who had lost. She wanted to protect the image of success she had carefully cultivated. But one day, something shifted. She was at a conference, listening to a speaker who shared a personal story about their own failure and how it had transformed their life. The speaker didn't hide their pain. They didn't try to present themselves as perfect. Instead, they wore their struggles with pride. It was then that Jessica realized she had been hiding her own experiences. She had been ashamed of her struggles instead of honoring them. That moment was a turning point. Jessica decided to share her story openly, to stop hiding the fact that she had lost her job, but also to acknowledge everything she had learned along the way. She started to see her experiences as the very things that had given her strength. Her failure didn't define her. It had refined her. It had taught her resilience, adaptability, and the importance of staying true to her values. She began to see that her story wasn't one of defeat, but of growth. Her experiences had shaped her into someone who could now help others navigate their own challenges. Every setback she had faced was a lesson that had paved the way for her future success. When she embraced her journey, she no longer felt like she was carrying a burden. Instead, she felt like she was wearing a badge of honor. And that's exactly what she was doing, proudly displaying the lessons learned from her experiences. This is the power of embracing your journey. When you wear your experiences like a badge of honor, you acknowledge the pain, the loss, the mistakes, and the setbacks, but you also honor the wisdom they've given you. These experiences aren't something to hide or be ashamed of. They are your story, your unique path that has shaped you into the person you are today. Think about it. We are all a collection of our experiences. Whether we like it or not, our past shapes how we view the world, how we make decisions, and how we interact with others. Those painful moments, the times you doubted yourself, the moments when life knocked you down, they have all played a role in shaping your character. And guess what? You are stronger, wiser, and more capable because of it. The person you are today is a reflection of everything you've gone through. And that person deserves to be celebrated. Take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Maybe you've had a failed relationship that taught you about your own worth. Perhaps you've faced financial struggles that taught you the value of hard work and persistence. Maybe you've been through health challenges that showed you the true meaning of resilience. Whatever your experiences have been, they are yours. They are a testament to your strength, your courage, and your determination to keep going, even when things got tough. Now imagine walking through life with that understanding. Imagine walking into a room with your head held high, not because you're perfect, but because you know that every struggle, every tear, every sacrifice has brought you to where you are today. You are no longer defined by your failures. You are defined by how you overcame them. You are defined by the lessons you've learned, the strength you've gained, and the courage you've shown. Your past doesn't define you, it refines you. Let's take another example. Think of a man named Daniel who faced immense criticism for pursuing a career in music instead of following the more traditional path his parents had envisioned for him. For years he struggled with self-doubt, feeling like he was letting everyone down. There were moments when he wanted to give up, moments when he questioned whether it was all worth it. But he kept going. Slowly but surely, he found his audience, built his craft, and eventually found success. Today, Daniel is known for his unique sound and his dedication to his art. He looks back on those challenging years with gratitude because those experiences shaped him into the artist he is today. He wears his struggles as a badge of honor because he knows that without them, he wouldn't have found his true calling. There's no such thing as a straight line to success. Life is full of twists and turns, highs and lows, wins and losses. But it's how you navigate those challenges that defines you. It's how you rise from those setbacks that sets you apart. And the more you embrace your journey, the more powerful you become. You begin to see that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, every failure a lesson in disguise. You start to see your experiences not as burdens, but as badges of honor. Proof that you have lived, learned, and persevered. So the next time you face a challenge, remember, you're not defined by what you've been through, but by how you handle it. Wear your experiences proudly. They are the threads that weave your story. And that story is one of strength, resilience, and triumph. You are a living testament to the power of perseverance. Wear it like a badge of honor because you've earned it. As we stand here today in this moment, I want you to take a deep breath and absorb the power of everything we've shared. You see, the beauty of a woman is not defined by the clothes she wears, the makeup she applies, or the compliments she receives. True beauty is a reflection of your soul, a radiance that comes from within. It's in your confidence, your self-worth, and your ability to stay true to who you are, no matter what the world tries to tell you. In a world that constantly tells us we need to look a certain way, act a certain way, be a certain way, it's easy to lose ourselves. But I want you to hear this clearly. You are enough. You were born enough. No matter where you are in life, no matter the mistakes you've made, no matter the things you've struggled with, you are enough. It's time for you to stop seeking validation from others and start validating yourself. You don't need anyone's approval to feel worthy, because your worth comes from within. You are powerful beyond measure, and your power lies in embracing who you truly are. Remember, your worth doesn't change because of someone's opinion of you. It doesn't fluctuate because of what others think about your appearance or your success. Your worth is constant, it's unshakable, and it's yours to own. And when you finally realize this, when you stop comparing yourself to others and start honoring your own journey, you will experience a freedom like no other. Don't let the noise of the world drown out your inner voice. Don't let the fear of judgment or rejection keep you from showing up as your true self. Because when you do, you will find a sense of peace, a confidence, and a power that is magnetic. People will be drawn to you not because of your outward appearance, but because of the energy you exude. The most beautiful thing you can wear is your authenticity. I want you to know that your beauty is limitless. It's not restricted by age, by your weight, or by your social status. Your beauty is the way you carry yourself, the way you love, the way you show up for others, and the way you live your truth. Your beauty is found in the strength of your character, in the courage to pursue your dreams, and in the resilience that allows you to rise after every fall. Let me remind you of something that's incredibly important. You are worthy of all the love, success, and happiness you desire. The universe does not make mistakes. You are here for a reason. Your experiences, your scars, your triumphs, and your lessons are all part of your unique story. Embrace every part of it, because it is your story that will inspire others. When you walk through life with confidence and self-love, you are not just changing your own life, you are changing the world around you. The path to true beauty is not a quick fix. It's not about the latest trends or the hottest fashion. It's about finding peace within yourself, owning your worth, and embracing your unique beauty. Your confidence will shine brighter than any outfit. Your heart will radiate more warmth than any compliment. And your inner peace will be more powerful than any material possession. So, let me leave you with this. Believe in yourself, trust in your journey, and never forget that your beauty, your power, and your worth come from within. The world will try to tell you otherwise, but the truth is simple. You are the creator of your own beauty. You are the architect of your own life. And the most beautiful thing you can do is live it authentically, unapologetically, and with love for yourself. When you carry yourself with grace, when you walk through life with a heart full of peace and a mind full of confidence, the world will see you. Not for the clothes you wear, not for the material things you have, but for the incredible woman you are. So go out there, wear your experiences like a badge of honor, embrace your inner peace, and let the world see your true beauty. The beauty that can never be bought or replicated because it comes from within. And remember, true beauty is not in what you wear, but in how you feel when you wear it. You are already everything you need to be. Now go out and shine.